Wake up. Oh, well, you guys are probably already awake. Get up.
Stay up.
Stay up. Let's go.
Well, it is Monday, July 28th, at least for the remaining dwindling few hours that we have here of Monday, July 28th on the West Coast. First day in pads for the 49ers. That's why Wake Up did not come to you regularly scheduled, so we thought we'd hit you with a little late night special. Welcome, Damon Bruce, Larry Kruger. The both of us were down in Santa Clara today, obviously, for the first day in pads. It's great to see you all here. Tomorrow, when you're thinking about lunch, think about going to Ike's. I don't know where you're going to catch the rest of this Giants game tonight, but if you're stumbling around West Portal, stumble on in to our good friends at the Dubliner on West Portal, and they'll take good care of you. You might need a beer or two as you watch the San Francisco Giants. Larry, did you have any barbecue for dinner tonight?
Yes, exactly. We're brought to you on the Krug Show side by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. We're also brought to you by our good friends at Sharp Corners, Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California on the Monterey Peninsula. Anthony Catania's at 831-521-5264, and he's a great follow on Instagram at Sharp Corners 831. And also thanks to Claw Daddy Arcades. They're a great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades to find a location near you. We are giving away a Patrick Willis autographed jersey at the end of the month, which is just days from now. And to get it, all you got to do is follow me on YouTube, subscribe to the Krug Show on YouTube, and then follow Claw Daddy Arcades on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades. If you follow him on Instagram, follow me on YouTube, you're automatically into the drawing for the Willis jersey, which we'll be giving away in days, and it's autographed and it's cool. So check it out. And thanks to all of our sponsors. The links are in the description for all the sponsors. All right. We were both, as Damon said, in Santa Clara today at training camp. And Damon, there was a lot of good stuff going on down in training camp today. A lot of good stuff.
You know, Robert Saleh, he started his post-practice press conference by saying how, as much as everyone loves putting pads on, coaches really don't like or get a lot out of the first day in pads. Everybody's a little too frisky. Everybody's playing a little bit too much grab ass. Everybody's a little too excited, too amped up, and it might, take their eye off the actual work that needs to be done. Again, it's only 5 practices into training camp now, so the real workload is certainly coming soon. But Larry, this was a good day today, and I think that Robert Saleh then pivoted to say, but it was a good practice, and we did get good stuff out of it today. And I tell you, man, it looks crisp out there. It really, really does. Shanahan and Saleh have a well-oiled machine that looks like mid-season practice very early. I thought tempo was great all the way around. I thought everybody looked fresh. I thought Shanahan himself looked bouncy. You had Saleh in guys' ears holes, celebrating things, correcting things, coaching things. A lot of really good energy. Remember the weird energy around the team last year? If vibes matter, Larry, it was a really good day of practice, plus nobody got hurt, which means it was a great day at training camp.
Well, yeah, I mean, last year they just were gassed. I mean, they just seemed gassed. They seemed tired. Shanahan, Lynch, the players, the offseason wasn't long enough. They had to cancel the joint practices with the Saints because they had too many injuries. They just looked ill-prepared to start the year, and they definitely didn't start the year with, tremendous momentum. This year, it's a different team. It's a younger team, and it's got Robert Saleh and Gus Bradley leading the defense, but it also has some a lot of young players. And you may have 3 new starters on your 4-man D line. You're going to have a new starter at linebacker opposite Fred Warner because Devondre Campbell started there last year. You're going to have, maybe a new starting safety tandem. You could have, of 11 defensive starters, you could have 7 or 8 new defensive starters. So there's total tons of turnover on special teams, new coordinator, new plan. So in a lot of ways, the 49ers are a very new football team. We're going to show you a couple sites from camp before we talk about some of these topics here, because we have a link that shows us a bunch of different highlights that we can show you from camp. And we're going to show you a couple of them here. So this was the first day of Eli Apple. Okay, we'll kill the volume on that. But here's Eli Apple, his first day with the 49ers, the Niners' newest corner. They signed the veteran corner Eli Apple. And here he is, Damon, moving around, backpedaling. His first day in a Niner uniform. He's been on 7 teams, wearing the Guardian cap, wearing number 30. So you
funny how weird Guardian caps looked just a couple of years ago, and now you don't even see them. That's how omnipresent they are. Used to be a weird looking thing. Now I don't even notice it. But yeah, I thought Eli Apple, for a guy who's, out there for his first 10 minutes, this first 10 minutes of practice were his first 10 minutes of ever being a 49er. I don't know how much you can really get out of anything other than, he looked good. He looked like a guy who certainly kept himself in shape and wasn't surprised that he found himself in an NFL camp. It was, I wanted to see him a little bit, and my eyes were absolutely all over the secondary today. And a few guys really stood out defensively, not only when they were going through their one-on-one drills, but when they started their 11-on-11s. And, I know we're kind of talking defensive side of the ball right now. So I'll just start with Jair Brown, Larry. Jair Brown looked like he was a captain out there. He was directing so much traffic. They got the volume cranked up with the DJ, so I don't know how much verbal communication we hear, but he's clearly communicating and talking with his teammates in a way that I thought it was a major, major problem last year in that back-end communication with Nick Sorensen's defense. I mean, that's where games were lost. And so everybody just looked Jair Brown looked very much like a traffic cop out there, Larry. It looked like communication was where it needed to be.
He had a bad year last year. I mean, he really needed to bounce back. And, I think a lot of people, it's funny. It's like he had a down year. All of a sudden it was like, he stinks, get rid of him. And I've always liked him. I think he's a really good player. I think there's a lot of potential there for him to get better. It is an interesting time in the secondary. I mean, Renardo Green is sidelined with a hamstring pull. So Trey Brown and Demo Lenore started at outside corner today. And then I thought today was a great day for a number of DBs. I thought Dallas Flowers intercepted a pass that was intended for Jordan Watkins during one-on-ones. And Robert Saleh and Lenore, rushed over and they congratulated him. And, Flowers played for the Colts last year, and he's a veteran, but he's got great athleticism, great size and speed. Saleh's quote after practice, he said he had a really good rep. Surprised the rest of the DBs didn't jump up and down for him. It was a really nice rep. He had perfect technique, put himself in good position to make a play, and he made it. So Dallas Flowers is a good-sized defensive back who's got great 40 time, very, very fast. So it was great to see him. I thought he looked good. And then Upton Stout broke up a deep pass right near the sidelines on a pass from Purdy to Ricky Pearsall. And then we saw Upton Stout working with the first team defense in the slot quite a bit. So, I mean, I just thought, and then, Jacob Robinson, the undrafted rookie corner out of BYU, he's starting to stack good days. He had another really strong day. He added a PBU on a Mordecai throw that was intended for Russell Gage. So, I would say overall, it was a real good day today for the defensive backfield.
Well, and I want to go back to Upton Stout here, Larry. 49ers throwback says, Upton Stout's so good at the point of attack, the dude fears no contact. When you see him for the very first time, you're like, why is this guy on an NFL field? He is much smaller than everyone. He's like Dave Meggett level. What is he, your punt returner? You hope he gets lost in traffic. Like, he's diminutive out there. Pads go on and physicality comes into play. And now I get Upton Stout. Dude, this guy packs a punch. He is out there to fight. He is out there to be incredibly physical at the line of scrimmage. He's going to want to play bump and run with guys. Upton Stout is he's got the scrapple in him, Larry. I mean, all young players, tiny, small players in the NFL, obviously better pack a big punch and have a lot of attitude, man. He is. I didn't get it before today. Today I get it.
Here he is walking onto the field. He was the first guy to walk out onto the field. And as you can see, I mean, he is a smaller guy. He's wearing number 20. But man, he might be small in stature, but his game is big and he's physical. Yeah. And not only that, he
got to be that physical.
He knocked that ball out of the air that was intended for Pearsall. And Stout just he's real competitive at the catch point. He's real physical in the run game. I thought he was good. He looked good.
It was a really good day, I thought, for rookies making early impressions. Probably no more bigger impression made by any rookie than CJ West today, who's just, I think he and Alfred Collins have the chance to really be special together, not just have good rookie years that everybody's satisfied with. I did a in the parking lot post-game video, and I just said there's no chance that either Alfred Collins or CJ West is Javon Kinlaw, meaning always looks like he's going to be a really good player, but just never really delivers. These guys move piles, and they were out there moving piles together today. Like, Collins just pushes dudes backwards. And then you just see CJ West with his big, strong hands just moving dudes. I mean,
here he is right here on the screen.
Watch this rep right here. Look at that arm, by the way. Look at that tricep. It's just barking at you.
He's got the Jordans on. Yeah, he's DJ Jones, but he's just so violent with his hands.
Well, and
so
Larry,
strong.
The way that Collins' size might.
There you are. Look at that.
Someday.
Look at that.
Oh, there's Damon Bruce right there. Look at that guy. See, for those of you who say I don't go cover practice, look at me. You know how much it would cost? You know how much Larry would have to spend to CGI me into practice video? So there you go. Anyway, I guess I wasn't watching that rep. What am I filming right there?
Yeah, you weren't watching that.
I was over on sled work. To me, as soon as I see that sled come out, I go over.
This is must-see TV right here. This is Collins now, number 95. It's just, to me, West was so dominant in the one-on-ones. I mean, he looks just like a wrecking ball. He's so strong.
So big. He's so big. He is.
Collins is a huge man.
He's almost too big. Like I said, CJ West is going to be a leverage player his entire career. He's going to be under dude shoulder pads his entire career. Alfred Collins is going to have to tunnel to get under somebody's shoulder pads. He is just so big, Larry. He's gargantuan. I mean, he was big before he put pads on. Today, he got absolutely huge. Certainly nothing that really needs to be reported. The guy's a future Hall of Fame linebacker. But let me tell you, when the pads go on and you really get to see him moving and strafing all over the field and just, flipping his hips and going from, I might be playing the run. No, I'm playing the pass. I might be having to greet a running back at somewhere around the line of scrimmage. No, wait a minute. I have to flip my hips and go cover George Kittle now. Who moves better than Fred Warner on a football field? I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's just to watch Fred Warner behind him all afternoon. He is so natural out there. He's perfect. The economy of movement, everything he does is just incredible. Fred Warner for president of all defense. Good God, he's so good.
I was impressed by the rest of these linebackers. Now I know Fred, and I'm not really looking for Fred to do much because I kind of know what Fred is.
Yeah, let me do this Fred Warner scouting report, everybody. He's good.
Yeah, this just in. But the rest of this linebacking crew to me really looks good. I mean,
Jalen Graham.
Jalen Graham, had a really good day today. But D. Winters, D. Winters just continues to work his case to start alongside Fred Warner. He had an interception off Purdy on a pass that was intended for George Kittle. That was set up by Jason Pinnock's breakup. So Pinnock tipped the pass, and then Winters picked it off. He also had a big hit, probably the biggest hit of the day, on Isaac Guerendo. It was a monster hit. So Winters looks good. I think Nick Martin has looked really good, and Robert Saleh singled him out after practice as well. But if those guys were the only linebackers that look, it'll be one thing, but they really aren't. I mean, I love the way this group looks. Tatum Bethune looks faster. You have Luke Gifford. You have Jalen Graham, and Graham had a day today. I mean, he was diving and running, and I mean he's playing with urgency because he understands he was a 2023 seventh round pick. It's now 2025. He hasn't been able to really establish himself. It's now or never for Jalen Graham, and you can see that urgency. And then Stone Blanton and Chaz Surratt have added two more good players to this group. Surratt is, 6'3", 250, and runs in the 4.5s. And Stone Blanton is just one of the most impressive I want to call him a non-athlete, but I mean, he doesn't look like he's got a pro body. He looks more like a high school or college football player. But then you see his movement, and I'm guaranteeing you this guy's going to have 10 tackles in a preseason game. He looks terrific. So, I would say overall, this young linebacking core, to me, is the most impressive. But as far as today was concerned, today was a big day for the rookies because Williams looked monster. Mikael Williams is, especially lined up against the guards, is just toying with people, and he's so big and athletic that there's going to be a baseline of how good he's going to be even off the start, just because of how big and strong he is. I mean, he's bigger and stronger than all the tight ends he'll go up against, and he looks really good. Alfred Collins looks raw, but he still, I think, is in great shape. It looks way better than the minicamp. CJ West, as soon as the pads came on, just kind of showed. There's one phrase to describe CJ West: plug and play. You're just going to put him in there at defensive tackle week one. He's going to play. The other guy today, and it's nobody's saying anything about this guy. Sometimes I kind of wonder, are people even watching the same practice that I'm watching? Because nobody said anything today about Sebastian Valdez. And Sebastian Valdez looks phenomenal.
Dude, Sebastian
he is 300 pounds, and he is fast, and he is quick, and he's full effort. And I'm telling you, man, if Kalia Davis, Jordan Elliott, who didn't practice today, Kevin Givens, who's one of the longest tenured Niners, Evan Anderson, any of these, I mean, we know CJ West and Alfred Collins are going to be on the team, right? Because Collins was a second-round pick, West was a fourth-round pick. They're not getting cut. But the rest of these guys, they better show up and play, because this guy, Sebastian Valdez, who's wearing number 55, check this guy out in camp if you're going. Check this guy out on the tube if you see the preseason.
Larry, I
300-pounder who can absolutely move. Absolutely move.
I think he's on the team. They need bodies that are going to play in the middle of this defense. How about this? He is an injury away from being on this team for sure. Like, he's on the edge of the roster right now.
Defensive linemen are always at a premium, right? Everybody needs them, right? It's like starting pitching in baseball. You never have enough. So all I'm saying is, if the Niners put Sebastian Valdez in a preseason game and he does in the preseason what he's been doing in these practices and in the OTAs, he's going to produce, and he's not going to clear waivers. So he's going to be a guy to watch. I mean, no doubt in my mind, Sebastian Valdez is going to be a guy to watch. So that's the guy up front to watch, I think. He's like the wild card in the defensive line.
Well, I know we're talking like rookies now too, but just Bryce Huff is a guy that I feel like everyone was really excited about Bryce Huff when he got signed, and then he's sort of lived in the ether of no one's really talked about him since that moment. Dude, Bryce Huff in his get off, the way he's got the way that he comes out of his stance and he has this little like hesitation move. Like I didn't even realize that I had my camera on slow-mo. I filmed a rep of his in slow-mo by accident almost. And his footwork, it's just unbelievable. The guy is a special football player. You can see it in him. You can see it in him. Bryce Huff back with Robert Saleh. Something's going to happen this year. I'm convinced of it.
Well, I mean, it was a great day for the Rooks. It really was. And so I think everybody talked a lot about the guys up front, right? So Mikael Williams is, everybody's watching him. Alfred Collins, CJ West, everybody's watching those guys.
I got a out of bed 5-year-old. I'll be right back. Okay.
Nick Martin really looked good today. Jacob Robinson really looked good today. I mean, the entire rookie class looked good, but the two guys that I thought really looked good when we got into the meat and potatoes of the practice was Upton Stout and Marquise Siegel. To me, the two guys that really shine today in practice, rookie-wise in the secondary, Stout and Siegel. Stout looks like he's a cover guy that can cover right now. Siegel just made play after play after play. I felt like Dallas Flowers, who wears 35, and Marquise Siegel, who wears 36. These guys were all over the field today. I think, I've been told by a lot of people that Siegel probably is the long-range starter at free safety because he's such a good cover guy. He's a former corner. He's got 4.3 speed. But then I watched him in the East-West Shrine game from early in the offseason, and he had multiple big crushing hits in that game. So it's like, wait a second. You got a safety who's a converted corner who's got 4.37 speed and can cover, and then he also has the physicality to, come up with a starching hit. That's a player that I like. That's a player that I'm sure John Lynch would like. And sure enough, the Niners grabbed Siegel, who was kind of a no-name. And when they took him in the 5th round in this draft, I think there were a lot of people going, who? Marquise Siegel? But man, he was really good at K-State, and he has looked phenomenal in today. I thought he was absolutely everywhere.
Who are you talking about?
Marquise Siegel. Well, I mentioned Dallas Flowers, but Marquise Siegel, number 36.
Dude, I told you
had a number of plays today.
Today, I walked over to you and I said, so I keep on circling number 36 because I don't know who the fuck is 36 here. Who is this? And I keep on circling. I circled Marquise Siegel's 36 3 different times today. Jason Pinnock also got circled a couple times today. This team is going to be better, and they're going to be a better defensive team. I don't care if they're young or they're rookies. I don't care how long they've been in the NFL is. You can already see this is going to be a better defensive team than it was last year. As long as these guys know how to tackle, along with everything else we saw today, I think they're going to be a lot better defensively. And then you put Robert Saleh on top of all that. It's a changer. It really is.
Again, the one thing that we saw today is we saw the Niners, like if you watched McCaffrey, if you watched Kiner, if you watched Jordan James, a lot of the running backs were running into walls. Like all the running plays, it would be like run, and then like you couldn't even, from where we were standing, even necessarily even see the back. You just kind of saw 4 guys around him, and the back kind of keep churning through. And so, offensive football is about creating space. Defensive football is about shrinking space. The Niners offseason has been about playing the run, right? Solving the run. What's Collins good at? He's a good run defender. What's West good at? He's a good run defender. What's Stout good at? He's a good run defender. The Niners took 4 or 5 picks and just said, we are addressing our run D. And we won't know until the preseason, or really probably till the regular season, how good their run D is. Every team in the NFL has big defensive tackles, athletic defensive ends, and, 230 to 250 pound linebackers on that second level running around. But some teams plug up all the holes and other teams don't. And the Niners couldn't stop the run last year. But in today's practice, first live practice with pads, they appeared to be really good at stopping the run. And to me, Damon, this is a major thing. I mean, like on paper, they got a lot of good run defenders, and on paper, they're better against the run. But until you start seeing the running backs run into a wall, you're not good enough against the run. For today, they look good against the run. I don't know if it's going to last. We'll see. It's got to, right? But today, they look good against the run.
I'll agree with you there. I'm wondering if one of the reasons why they're looking good against the run is because they're cheating against an otherwise less than stellar group of wide receivers. The 49ers wide receivers are a bunch of guys who are number 2 or 3s right now. I don't know if they got a real number 1, but I'll tell you, Demarcus Robinson might be their best wide receiver right now, and he's probably not going to be out there due to a suspension week 1 against Seattle. But don't you think Demarcus Robinson is pretty much taking the cake as this team's best wide receiver on the field today anyways? I'm not saying he will be. I'm not saying this is the way it's going to work out all year. But today, Demarcus Robinson was their best receiver by a mile.
Yeah, it's a great question because, I think most people would say, hey, it's Ricky Pearsall, right? He's a first-round pick, and it's year 2. And if you didn't say Ricky, you'd probably say, hey, it's going to be Ayuk when he gets healthy. And then, there'll be other people that say, oh, no, it's JJ, and, don't sleep on JJ.
Look, Jordan Watkins is really polished. I'm impressed by him. He might be a guy who helps solve this problem as the year goes along. What's wrong with the 49ers receiving core? Well, not as much as you thought, because Jordan Watkins is actually somebody. He might be. I'll give him that. He's looking good out there.
But yeah, there's Watkins, there's Cowing, there's Nair, there's Hodgins. I mean, there's a bunch of bodies here who are interesting in their own right. Yeah, I mean, it's funny you bring this up because, you were talking about this the other day. There's an article out right now, and it quotes Matt Barrows, who is my favorite Niner media person, by the way. I've always really enjoyed Barrows' coverage. I just think he's really good at what he does.
Matt Barrows. There you go, Barrows.
There you go. And Matty will be coming on Wednesday on the Niners Nightly on KMBR in the 6 o'clock hour to give us his thoughts on the first week of camp. But Matt Barrows said he thinks the 49ers, the idea that they should go out and sign Keenan Allen makes a lot of sense. He went on a recent podcast and said, hey, look, and Barrows noted that, Keenan played at Cal and spent all those years with the Chargers, so he may not be opposed to, playing in California. A lot of guys, believe it or not, just don't want to play on the West Coast. But the longtime Charger Damon is still available in free agency. He's coming off a solid year with the Bears.
I'd get him today.
15 games, he hauled in 70 receptions last year for 744 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's 33, but to me, I like the idea of going with younger receivers, but if you really felt like you were going to be short, Keenan Allen is a really solid receiver. Let's just say this. I like Keenan Allen more than I like the idea of Amari Cooper. I'm not really sure what to make of Gabe Davis because he's 26. He's younger, but he's also had a knee injury. I would like to take a look at Isaiah Nair. We can talk about Nair in a bit here. Nair.
Absolutely.
But, overall,
by the way, Equanimous. He's not going to make the opening day roster. That guy can't catch a cold.
Yeah.
His body is absolutely impressive. He just doesn't have the hands to do it. I don't think he's going to be. How about this? I don't think St. Brown will be part of this year's why they went to the playoffs conversation once we're having that conversation. I don't think he's the guy. I think Demarcus Robinson could be a guy. I think Ricky Pearsall could be a guy. I think Jordan Watkins could be a guy. Players as they get healthier, obviously Ayuk, and Jennings are both guys I believe in. You are one injury away to those guys from wishing you had Keenan Allen on your roster. I would do that. And how about this? I'll make a deal with the 49ers right now. Either you get me Keenan Allen today or you shut down George Kittle until week 1 in Seattle. Because that guy can't miss anything. First of all, Kittle's right now. Kittle is ready to play today. If that game were kicking off in 5 minutes from now, George Kittle would have 10 catches, 112 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He is ready.
Here's the thing about Keenan Allen. I love Keenan Allen. Great high school player in the state of North Carolina. Went to Cal. Was great at Cal. Really good receiver. Very natural receiver. And can run that outside, boundary X, if you want to call it that, and run a lot of those sideline patterns. He doesn't do tons of crossing routes, and the Niners like those, so I kind of wonder about the fit. But my only concern is just, is he blocking this kid? I did a video on Isaiah Nayer, and here it is. If you didn't see it, I'll play it for you real quick. Here we go. And this is courtesy of Kev Kruger Productions. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. Okay, here we go. Isaiah Nayer, a little breakdown on Nayer. Take a look at this cat and tell me that there's guys all over the NFL or college football that look like this guy. There aren't.
No.
There aren't. I mean, is he raw? Yeah. Is he crude? Yeah. Would he be more ideally suited for the practice squad? Probably. He kind of catches it kind of like a high school wide receiver. He's raw. He's super raw, which is why a guy this big, this fast, this talented could go play at Texas, play for Nebraska, have a big year, and go undrafted. It's funny. One day is all it took, and all of a sudden I'm reading all these, people's videos, and, Isaiah Nayer's got a great shot to make the final 53, and it's like, whoa, this guy, it was one day. It was one day at practice. But it goes to show you when you're 6'4", 220 with 4.4 flat speed, with 40-inch vertical, with 36-inch arms, with a massive catch radius, that if you flash, yeah. And, if this guy makes even one play in the preseason, like the plays that he's made in OTA and training camp, he won't clear waivers.
No.
Larry, he's the kind of guy that makes you go, so what's wrong with him? Right? What's the problem? Look at the body type. His measurables are rarely measured. Not a lot of human beings walk into the room with that.
Well, I mean, just right there. If you answered my question, how many guys are 6'4", 220, 4.4 flat, 40-inch vertical, 36-inch arms? I mean, forget in the league right now. Let's just talk about ever.
Right.
Randy Moss, Megatron, Calvin Johnson. That's pretty much it. Like maybe like a T.O. or somebody like that who's huge and fast and explosive. But there have not been hardly anybody this big, this fast, this long, this kind of vertical. And he's not like you would think. Yeah, he's got all these measurables, but this guy can't walk straight and tie his shoes right at the same time. He just can't. He's totally uncoordinated. But he's not. He's actually made 2 or 3 amazing grabs. And here's the thing. Do you go for Keenan Allen as your, 4th or 5th receiver? Or do you carry this guy as your 4th or 5th receiver and let him be the guy, Damon, who runs off the top of the defense and kind of keeps everybody honest by running the deep routes? Because he showed that he can run the deep route. I don't know if he can run the full tree of patterns. He's raw. He's very raw. But, dude, what that guy's got, you cannot teach. You cannot replicate.
All I can tell you is I think that Kyle Shanahan would rather have Keenan Allen than a guy like Nair. I mean, Shanahan, young wide receivers, not best friends, So I just think when it comes down to, okay, so now you got to actually play that guy. Are you comfortable playing that guy? I don't know if Shanahan will be comfortable playing Nair. Unless
I don't know.
This. I mean, there are a certain
he
amount
might.
that you can make in practice that alleviate these concerns. I mean, keep doing it, young guy, man. The catch that he had, the triple team coverage catch the other day that the Niners put out was absolutely glorious. By the way, the catch that McCaffrey had today, you talk about how you and I are watching football practice through a sea of bodies on the sideline that are coaches, players, coaches, kids, and then you got a football team running a play to look through to see a play 30 yards downfield being made. Who caught that? That's probably the most common question between media members on who caught that? Who threw that? Because you can only look at one thing at a time. You can't just scan the field and see everyone because there's always someone standing in your way in your field of vision. Who caught that? Who threw that? Who caught that? Christian McCaffrey had a catch today that was just a fingertip dangler, gorgeous hip pocket catch from Christian McCaffrey. There's players on this team, man. There's players on this team. I know it's a different looking 49er team, but there are some really talented guys on this football team. And again, if Christian McCaffrey is rock steady, healthy, awesome all year long, we ain't going to be talking about Isaiah Nair. We ain't going to be talking about, Jordan James or Jordan Watkins. We're not like those guys are just going to fall back into you're just on the team. This whole thing is Christian McCaffrey if he's healthy.
Well, to me, that's a nightmare. Because that's how you lose. Because they've never gotten to the finish line with Christian McCaffrey healthy, and they'll never get to the finish line with Christian McCaffrey healthy if they utilize him the way they have. They have to utilize their other guys.
I hope
they have to get to Super Bowl Sunday with a healthy Christian McCaffrey. They've never gotten to Super Bowl Sunday with a healthy McCaffrey. To me, though, there is the brightest spot. What is the shiniest object right now in the Niners sphere at camp? I agree with you, by the way. Christian had a great day today. He caught that ball on the sidelines. It was a toe tapper. It was kind of like the ball in the playoff game where Purdy found Juice on the sideline and Juice got his toes down and then leaned out of bounds and caught the ball. It was almost like that. It was one of those on the sidelines, get your toes in, great hand-eye coordination. And Christian just looks like he's primed for maybe his, I don't want to say it, but maybe his last best year, but it's possible. But the guy who is, to me, and I'm excited about Isaiah Nair, right? Very excited because of the traits, and he's really, really, really fun to watch. But as I described, he's raw, and he may not even make the team. I love the violence of Nick Martin and C.J. West and Mikael Williams and the new defensive linemen. They look really good. I'm very impressed by Upton Stout and Marquise Siegel. And what those guys have done in the secondary, and I'll throw Jacob Robinson. I think the Niners have some really good DBs. This has been a great offseason. But Damon, my favorite guy to watch on this football field right now is Corey Kiner. And Corey Kiner, and I got a video coming out that is going to net me thousands and thousands of insults from the chat. Because I'm going to do a video, and I've already prepped it, where I'm comparing Corey Kiner to the running back he reminds me of,
which is Roger Craig.
Emmett Smith.
Oh boy. Okay.
Corey Kiner reminds me of Emmett Smith. And I went and you know me, dude. I've been watching football for decades, right? And you have as well.
Well, let me ask. May I ask? Is it the way he runs? Is it this stride? Is it the low pads? Is it the hunched over nature? Is it the similarity in body type? Because
I went and looked at. It's a great question, and it's really the combination of size, speed, and traits. And these guys are so damn similar. It's unbelievable. Now, Emmett's one of the greatest running backs ever. He also ran behind one of the greatest lines ever. But the comparison, if you give me 1 minute, I'll make this comparison. Emmitt Smith, obviously great player, 17th pick in the 1990 first round out of Florida. 5'9", 210 pounds, ran anywhere. They estimated him at 4.55, 40-yard dash. He ran at 4.52 or 4.53 at his pro day, but they estimated him at 4.55, right? Corey Kiner, 5'9", 210. Here's 40 time, 4.57. Okay? Emmitt Smith was an awesome player in high school. Corey Kiner was a 4,000-yard star in high school.
Well, pretty much every NFL running back was really good in high school.
Yeah, fair enough. That's totally fair and totally true. But if you look at Emmitt, you say, "What? Tell me about Emmitt." Okay, he was durable. He had excellent vision. He had tremendous leg strength. He ran consistently through arm tackles. He had great contact balance. He was one of the best second effort running backs you've ever seen. He was a reliable receiver, an excellent blocker. He had great feet. He played bigger than his 5'9", 210 pounds. He lacked the long speed, right? Didn't have huge long speed, but he had this unbelievable mentality. This just, this lunch pail all day mentality. He was all heart, excellent, excellent ball security, rarely fumbled, deceptive power, and really thrived in traffic. Okay, that was Emmitt Smith. Here's Corey Kiner, 4,000-yard rusher in high school, 5'9", 210, same size, 4.57, same 40 time. Dominated for Roger Bacon High School in the state of Ohio. Had 116 rushing touchdowns and Damon 7,130 yards. His senior year in high school, he's Mr. Football in the state of Ohio. 5-star recruit. He goes to LSU.
Very contact balance Kruger.
Transferred to Cincinnati to play in front of his family. The guy is very strong, 19 reps at 225, had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons at Cincinnati in 23 and 24. Only the fifth player in the history of the Cincinnati Bearcat program to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Averaged 5.5 yards a carry his junior year, averaged 5.7 a carry his senior year. Relentless running style, focus. Seriously lunch pail mentality, just like Emmitt. This guy forced 80 missed tackles as a senior in college at Cincinnati, fourth most in the nation. Excellent feet, really good in tight spaces, started 24 straight games his final 2 seasons. This guy is incredibly durable. All he ever did was start all the games in high school and all the games in college. He's the 8th most rush yards in the history of Cincinnati football. The guy thrives in traffic like Emmitt. He has exceptional, rare, like once-in-a-lifetime human pinball contact balance, great vision, processing speed, textbook pad level, runs with power through arm tackles, compact, deceptive, powerfully built, excellent ball security, rarely fumbles. Dude, this guy reminds me of a poor man's Emmitt. And Emmitt was the same size, same speed.
I'm going to take a bottle pull for you, Larry. This is for you. This isn't even for Corey Connor. This is for you.
But I love watching this guy because he is nobody. Like, I watched his highlight reel. Nobody brings this guy down solo. Nobody brings this guy down at first touch. He is the king of second effort. He's the king of contact balance.
Okay. I love you. He's not going to make the team, Larry. I love you.
No, he's going. I will bet you. You owe me a dinner right now, right? You owe me a steak dinner.
I owe you a steak right now. Here's the thing.
I will go double or nothing on this, right? So if he makes the roster, if he doesn't make the roster, you don't owe me a steak dinner. If he makes the roster, you owe Amy a steak dinner.
Going to surf and turf. Okay, here's the thing.
So now you're taking both of us out. You're not just taking me out, you're taking me and Amy.
I'd love to do it anyways. Here's the deal. It's simple math. There's no way this team is carrying 5 running backs and a fullback. They're not, Larry. Christian McCaffrey, Isaac Guerendo, Jordan James, and Patrick Taylor Jr., I think, are going to be your dressed game day running backs. And Kyle Juszczyk is obviously a dressed running back on game day. Corey Kiner is just going to get rostered off this roster, man. He's just.
I hear you, but I disagree. I think he's going to have a great preseason. What you're seeing in practice.
Look at it this way. Do you think he outplays Patrick Taylor Jr.? Because you can't have both.
Yes.
I think.
God, yeah.
Jr.
Are you kidding? Are you joking? Yes. Okay. Yes, he's going to outplay Pat. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, I agree with you, though. It is going to be a tough roster for him to make. I get it. You're totally right. Christian's going to make it. Juice is going to make it. Guerendo's going to make it. And you're right. They probably are only going with 5. But it's Jordan James, Patrick Taylor, and Corey Kiner for
Jordan
one
James
for
is on this team, based on what I've seen with my own two eyes, just that Jordan James,
they can both make it. They can both make it.
Gonna be on this team, rostered player. Kiner
First of all,
doesn't live in that universe.
They might with 6 backs, but even if they go with 5, I think Kiner's the 5th. You know, Eric Branch of the Chronicle in his camp preview also went with Corey Kiner's going to make it. But
Okay.
I mean, I've enjoyed Jordan James. Don't get me wrong. I think Jordan James has got some talent, but Corey Kiner is on a different level than Jordan James. I'm just going to say it. I know
right.
James went higher and Kiner went lower, but I think Kiner's better than James. Now, we'll see.
I really hope you're right. I'd love to buy a steak for Amy too.
I mean, I'm going to get ripped. I mean, look, come on. If I compare him to Emmitt Smith, I'm going to get absolutely tarred and feathered. People are going to laugh at me. They're going to make fun of me. They're going to, Krug, this and that. I don't care.
You had me drinking during a 4-minute rant in which we're doing a live stream together. I was, again, I thought it'd be rude to comment against you, so I just had to take a drink. I love you. I think you might be right. You might be right, but I just think that Corey Kiner is in a tough
awesome
crack. He's in a tough situation.
No, you're right. You're right. But he is what this guy has is so fun to watch because you know what he also wants to do? He wants to carry the ball every time 20 yards down the field after the run. He's that kind of a back.
I do like that in my practice running back. I do. If
Gilbert Rivera, Larry looking pimp in blue. Thank you.
Looking good. If Kyle Juszczyk were not on this team, Corey Kiner could have been on this team, and he could have been maybe a goal line fullbackish type of player as well. Maybe Guerendo. You famously last year were saying Guerendo's not a running back; he's a fullback. He's got the size of that.
Looks great.
I think that they should. It's again, Kyle Juszczyk to me feels like just an over expenditure and could have been. You got 3 different Kyle Juszczyks on this team, but you'll be keeping an older, more expensive Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. But how about the catch that Juszczyk made today, though?
Beautiful catch.
Brock Purdy put it down the left sideline where only Juice could get it, and Juice made an amazing catch. So yeah, I'm with you though. I don't know that I would have brought Juice back, but we'll see. We'll see. But
one other name, just
go ahead.
I wrote him down he's again not going to make the team. Camp body, but as a camp body, he's showing out and he's putting enough on tape to where when the Niners practice squad him, another team might come for him. Russell Gage Jr. Dude, Russell Gage Jr. made several good plays today.
Russell Gage, was a good college player, and he hasn't been healthy. The Niners signed him last year, and I don't think he was healthy then. But he was a very, very good football player. In college, Russell Gage, was a very good player. LSU played college football at LSU. Falcons took him in the 6th round. I think I might have said that he went to Wake Forest, but he went to LSU. And he's played with the Falcons, the Bucks, the Ravens, and now the 49ers. I mean, he's a solid NFL receiver who probably has lost a lot of his speed. But you're right. He's a solid contributor. I mean, there's going to be a number of teams that at the cut down will look at guys like Russell Gage and be like, hey, we'll take a look.
Man, I remember some old Mike Nolan Niner teams where if you didn't make this roster, you weren't making any NFL roster. Like if you were cut by the Niners, you just weren't playing professional football that year. And that changed. That changed on my watch under Jim Harbaugh, where now you're cutting players and you're deep enough to where, teams are coming for your trimmings. This team, which a lot of people will say isn't deep enough, is too young now, after complaining that it was too old. The overcorrection at too old is too young. So that's kind of what you got to do. The 49ers will cut 2 or 3 dudes who will instantly be picked by other teams this year. They got a good, talented camp, and everybody looked crisp today, Larry, on the first day of pads. There's no doubt. One
more video to show you. Look at this.
Videos? Okay.
we mentioned this before, but I actually found video of it. This is the Upton Stout PBU.
Upton Stout, yeah.
Okay, watch this play here. This is a pretty impressive play. Wait, we'll kill the music on this. All right, here we go. Purdy to the sideline. Look at that.
It's nice. I mean, he's got a little pass interference. He's kind of launching himself all over the dude's back, but yeah.
But there was no real contact here from. I mean, he stopped and turned, and yeah, it looks like he's pushing off here. But that was a very athletic play, and this is also a 5'8" guy in the air. I love the way that kid plays. He plays with this my ball mentality that is just contagious. I think I would say, based on what I saw today, and granted, it's one day, but I would say Upton Stout, CJ West, and Mikael Williams are day one starters. Starters.
I would completely agree with that. I would say that DeMarcus Robinson, if he is unsuspended, will be out there for the first offensive snap of the year too, with the camp that he's put together so far.
He's looked good. He's looked really good.
He has, man.
Robinson, yeah.
He has. And I know that he's just kind of like a deep threat guy. He's not a possession guy, certainly not an over-the-middle guy, but he looks like those things too so far. So,
well, he's kind of a weird guy. I asked Demo Lenore about DeMarcus Robinson, who didn't run a great 40 time, right? He's a 4.59, 4.61. We're not talking about a burner at all. And I asked Demo about him, and he's like, man, when I was a rookie, he was with Kansas City, and I went up against him, and I kind of took him for granted because he doesn't run that fast, and he burned me, and he's like, I'll never take him for granted again. I'll never, underestimate this guy. He's just a really difficult cover. And DeMarcus Robinson is just one of those guys. I mean, he had 7 touchdowns on the Rams last year. I think DeMarcus Robinson, because of the Ayuk injury, I think DeMarcus Robinson might be the 49ers' leading wide receiver touchdown scorer by the end of the year.
Him or Kittle. That's one of the two.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about wide receiver wise.
Right.
I mean, I think he'll beat out Cowing, Watkins, Pearsall, JJ. I think DeMarcus Robinson will have more touchdowns than them.
That's an easy bet. I would take that bet right now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know we got some supers before we get there, because I don't want to forget, because you were asking Saleh that very first day of rookie minicamp, have you got any dudes? And he wouldn't commit, and he didn't say anything. Today he was asked about Diamador Lenore, and he goes, that guy's a dude. And he is. This is Diamador Lenore's secondary now. I know that I was talking earlier about how Jair Brown was one of the more impressive players today, and Pinnock looked good today, and the other young man, what's his Siegel, looked good today as well.
Marquise, yep.
Yeah, Marquise Siegel had a good day today as well. But this is Upton Stout, a lot of fun, very physical. I'm excited about Upton Stout now in ways I wasn't before. But this is Diamador Lenore's secondary. There's no doubt about that. He is their best player in this secondary now. This guy is going to be a special corner this year. It's going to be a special year. It's going to be this is Diamador Lenore's big step forward year in this league, I think.
I agree. He's, and they're taking him from the slot to the outside. A lot of people think that's ill-advised, but you put your best corners typically outside. I mean, I know he's good against the run inside, but they feel like Stout can do the job, and they need Lenore outside. Couple other things, just updates from yesterday. Teron Jackson, who went down yesterday with a neck injury, was taken to Stanford Hospital last night, and he was back at the team headquarters today. He's got feeling in all of his extremities, and obviously it was a scary injury, and they will continue to evaluate Teron Jackson. I don't think he's returning to practice anytime soon. But that was kind of a scary injury, and I just wanted to provide an update there. He's walking, he's talking, everything's fine. He's got full range of motion and feeling and all that, but I would imagine he'll be out for a while. Also, Juwan Jennings has a calf injury. Didn't see him today. Renardo Green and Jacob Cowing also have hamstring injuries, and we're expected to see them in the middle of the month of August, likely the Raider week. They'll probably practice maybe against the Raiders in Henderson before that second preseason game. So just an update on some of the guys. But
by the way, did you
overall,
see the Raider story and the whole Christian Wilkinson thing? And there was there was something with his foot that they didn't like. They wanted him to get surgery. He didn't. But then now there's this he kissed another player on top of a head, and that has something to do with why no one in the locker. There is, whenever the Raiders are about to turn that corner to, they're almost normal again, they remind you, no, not quite. Let us show you why we're the Raiders always. This Christian Wilkinson thing is weird that's going on with them.
Well, okay. First of all, Christian Wilkins, as far as, what kind of guy is he? I mean, he was a great player. He was considered to be a leader. He's very smart, this and that. But, I don't know. I don't know what his deal is. There's a lot of people. I'll say this. I was talking to somebody in the practice field today, and they said, well, if the Raiders owe him $36 million, they might as well have just cut him a check for $36 million, because you can't get rid of a guy because he kissed another guy on the forehead. I'm sorry, but that's not right. You can't void $36 million because of a kiss on the forehead. So if the Raiders are that stupid that they're going to go to court, they're going to lose, and they might as well just cut him the check now. It will be interesting to see if he gets picked up somewhere else. I heard other people suggest that he must be significantly hurt and not going to play this year. Supposedly he has an injury that was supposed to be 4 to 6 weeks rehab, and it's 10 weeks since the injury, and he's still nowhere near playing. So I don't know what is going on with the actual injury, but I think the injury has nothing to do with the release. I think the release has to do with some kind of behavioral thing that the Raiders are uncomfortable with. But guess what? Just because a guy makes you uncomfortable doesn't mean that you can necessarily, rip up his $36 million guaranteed contract. So I kind of feel like we are going to hear a lot about a lot from the lawyers on both sides here.
Lawyers are coming.
Lawyers are coming. They're most definitely coming. And as far as Christian Wilkins, everybody who knows football would Christian Wilkins is a really good defensive lineman, and he's scheme versatile. He's a 5 technique and a 3-4. He's a 3 technique and a 4-3. He can play in any front, and he's a very productive guy who's very athletic. So obviously everybody would like to have him if he's available. And I don't expect him to be available anytime soon. I think there's going to be a lot more written about this, and I don't know. I don't know what the story is there, but the old saying, it's like, if something doesn't make sense, 9 times out of 10, there's a backstory.
Oh, we haven't heard it yet. There's something
I would almost guarantee you that there is some elaborate backstory here that the public is not privy to in the present.
Something's odd. Something just doesn't add up for sure. Should we hit some supers here, Larry?
Yeah, let's see if we have any supers. Let me double check here. We do. We have 7 supers today, so let's go through them. All right, we got this one. Matthew Waring, 6318. Hey, Matthew. He says, how are you feeling so far going Mikel over Jalen Walker? Nick Walker and Nick Martin and D. Winters have to be the answer in the flats. So many terrible 3rd and longs. Well, first of all, I love Nick Martin and D. Winters and the way they look. They look fantastic. Yeah. The Niner linebacking core is so much faster than last year with Devondre Campbell. They look worlds better, and I think that they're going to be worlds better. As far as Mikel over Jalen Walker, my issue with
time will tell, right?
My issue is that they're just totally different. I mean, Jalen Walker, I think, is a stacked backer. I think he's a linebacker who can play defensive end and rush the passer from his linebacker position. But I think he's a linebacker. But his movement ability is so extraordinary that Jalen Walker is really, really special. Mikel Williams, my problem with Mikel Williams on draft day is that it's a bit of a projection based on traits. And I hate taking guys that high in the first round that don't have both production and traits.
Want the numbers to back it up.
I don't want just traits. I want production, but I understand that you could be really productive but not have an NFL body, Or you could have an incredible NFL body and not be all that productive. Danielle Hunter had an amazing NFL body. He had like 4.5 career sacks in college. But guess what? In the NFL, he's got 100. So he's really been good. And I kind of think Mikael Williams is more in that lane, that vein. I like Mikael Williams, but I see a Trayvon Walker, kind of a big, strong, underdeveloped, kind of a raw pass rusher. But he's really intriguing since you brought up something before that I didn't comment on, but you brought up Bryce Huff. Dude, in some ways, the greatest thing that I saw all day was something that didn't look all that impressive, but it really is. And that was Austin Pleasance whiffing altogether on Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff is so compact. He doesn't get into a 3-point stance. He gets into a 4-point stance.
Yeah.
And it's not like Bosa, who's kind of an elongated, like sprinter stance. He's really tight and his hands are really close together. And he looks like he's almost playing like nose guard in a high school football game. That's what he looks like. He's really dug in tight. But then, deep drive to right. No, not going out. Giants lose. Or end of the eighth.
Bottom of the eighth.
End of the eighth. 6-4.
Believe, Larry. Believe.
6-4. Yeah. I don't know if I believe. I believe the Giants don't have enough offense. That's what I believe.
I believe you're right.
But Bryce Huff showed today that the Niners have the best speed rushing edge piece complement to Nick Bosa they have ever had. Damon, I can't believe we're an hour into this live stream and we're just bringing this up. In many ways, if you looked at everything that we saw on the football field today, that right there is probably the biggest impact on winning. Austin Pleasance, granted, has a little trouble with speed rushers. Okay, so that's his bugaboo. He's 6'7", 330. Speed rushers is not his bag. He did not lay a finger on Bryce Huff on at least one pass rush snap. Bryce Huff is so coordinated, so choreographed, so incredible with his precision in his steps in his pass rush. He's going to be a beast, man. He is going to be fantastic.
He couldn't keep up with his speed, man. Huff's speed is insane coming off the edge. And you know what I've also seen? Huff was rushing from that left defensive end Nick Bosa position. So he's going to fill in for Bosa and bookend him at the same time. So you can play that guy all over the line. That's a lot of pass rush coming from all over the place.
Dude, what I saw today from CJ West and Mikael Williams, I think your best line, third downs, let's say, third down line. Give me CJ West, Mikael Williams inside. Give me Bosa and Huff off the edges. That is going to be a monster defensive front. All right, we got this one. Joseph Ernberg says this season is already hyped. 15-2 Super Bowl champs in Santa Clara. Wow. Somebody has hacked into Ernberg's negativity. Come on, Ernberg.
He's excited. He was excited for pads, Larry. Come on, it's fine.
I mean, that's Ernberg. MSQ says thoughts on this Thursday's trade deadline for the MLB.
No, that's not even. I don't even want to get into it.
I'll say this. I mean, I think the Giants are. I'll say this. I think the Giants are going to make a trade that sends a piece away that will shock people. And I don't know which piece it will be, but between Ramos, Bailey, Jung-Hoo Lee, Carson Wisenhunt, or Doval, the closer, I bet you one of those pieces that nobody thinks is going is going. We'll see come Thursday. MSQ, have you guys
just don't need many more Mike Yastrzemski at bats? That's the way I look at this whole thing.
Does he need a ride to the airport? MSQ, they're having a debate today because yesterday they gave Lou Seal the mascot. He went to the Mascot Hall of Fame. They had all these other mascots there.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So, I can't even believe did you really put people on airplanes to fly them out to be, represent the Philly Fanatic and all these people, the San Diego Chicken and all this? They were having a debate on the radio today. Who are the best mascot? And it took everything in my power not to call up and say Mike Yastrzemski.
My my baseball heart is broken tonight, though, Larry. Part of my childhood passed away when Ryan Sandberg left us. Ryan Sandberg has passed away today, and that's
Did he really?
yeah, just a couple hours ago. It's just came
What?
across news. Ryan Sandberg passed away. He's been battling cancer for a really long time.
I didn't know that. I was unaware of that.
Yeah, 10-time All-Star, Hall of Famer.
What a player, man! What a player. Do you know the story? Did I ever tell you the Ned Colletti story?
Haley's Comet would come around more often than a Ryan Sandberg error.
Did I ever tell you that the Ryan Sandberg story of how the Cubs got him? So Ned Colletti, obviously,
they got him from Philadelphia.
They got him from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But the Cubs hired Dallas Green away from the Phillies. Remember, the Phillies in 80 won the World Series with Dallas Green. Well, by 84, Dallas Green was in Chicago with the Cubs, and Don Zimmer was his manager, and they had Maddox and Dawson and Ryan Sandberg and lots of great players. And Sandberg came up in 82. He was awesome. But the Phillies, the Cubs, when Dallas Green came over, he knew that Ryan Sandberg was Ryan Sandberg, and he traded for Ryan Sandberg. And the Phillies traded Sandberg, who was thought to be a good but not great prospect, to the Cubs, and then watched him become a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest offensive second basemen of all time. Now, I do believe that Robbie Thompson probably should have won a couple of the Gold Gloves that Sandberg owns, but offense is the biggest part of the Gold Glove, deal that nobody talks about. Sandberg was a tremendous player.
Incredible player, but it was
incredible player.
A rough week for the 80s, and
with Cosby, the Cosby kid, Malcolm
was born.
Ozzy, yeah, I was a big Sabbath fan. I listened to a lot of Sweet Leaf this week for Ozzy. Who else? There was somebody else that passed too, right? Ozzy. There was three.
What's his name? Chuck Mangione.
Chuck Mangione.
The flugelhorn. If you can have a number one in the country with a flugelhorn, you've done something.
Dude, Chuck Mangione. When I was a little kid, my parents used to take me to the Civic to see the Pops concerts, and Chuck Mangione was one of the guys
Hulk Hogan passed away, obviously.
And then Hulk Hogan, yeah. But Chuck Mangione, what a talent. What a talent. MSQ says, have you guys seen Happy Gilmore 2? It looks terrible.
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
I have no expectations that are attached to good, that's for sure.
MSQ. Thoughts on Wisenhunt's debut tonight? Odds Eldridge gets called up before the season's end. Well, I don't think Eldridge is going to get called up. I think he's probably a little bit more a ways away, but he's had a good couple weeks in AAA. Yeah. As far as Wisenhunt, I think Wisenhunt is an interesting guy. He's 94 on the gun from the fastball. He's got a killer change, but he really doesn't have a third pitch. So I would say the Wisenhunt that I saw tonight, who has two pitches and just kind of the semblance of a third, I think is a reliever. I think he's a lefty reliever, to be honest. Now, if he can develop a third and a fourth pitch, I think he's potentially a mid-rotation starter. He's not an ace. If he is what stands between you and some great acquisition, I would not be afraid to pull the trigger. He's not Paul Skeens. He's not Tom Seaver. This isn't Nolan Ryan. This is not. It's not an all-time great.
If you've already traded Kyle Harrison, you'd be comfortable trading this guy too.
Well said. MSQ. That dad strength that Purdy and CMC will have is going to hit different, LOL. Also, thoughts on our next 49er duo. Duo
Apple Juice? Was it Eli Apple and Kyle Juszczyk? I don't know. It's an Apple Juice. Is that I don't know. But I'll say this.
I don't think much of Eli Apple. I'll say that.
No. Fatherhood is powerful medicine. Very powerful medicine once you take it. And not that we had guys who, didn't seem to follow the main plot in Purdy or Christian McCaffrey. But fatherhood's going to be good for both of those guys. Fatherhood's going to be really good for Brock Purdy. By the way, I guess we know what his excused absence was the other day, right? Everyone go, oh, Purdy's not at practice. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Everything's great. Millie Jolene Purdy.
Great name. Great name.
She already sounds like she's 74 years old and works in the back of a Piggly Wiggly in Arkansas. That is phenomenal. That is some great naming right there. Millie Jolene Purdy. I mean, she sounds Southern. She's going to Ole Miss. Just, I don't care that he went to Iowa State. The Millie Jolene Purdy has to go to Ole Miss.
You know, my wife's brother, his daughter is Millie. So we have a Millie in our family.
It's a great, it's a sweet name. It really is.
It is a sweet name. And congratulations to Brock and Jenna, and obviously it's a momentous thing.
Look at it this way. This is the news about children you want in your NFL locker room. Not last year's news. This is everybody's happier. I was walking out of practice today, Larry, and there was this woman pushing this sweet little baby in a baby stroller, and I looked over and she looked up, and we had a little connection, and she laughed, and the 27-year-old Damon wouldn't have even noticed the baby. Now that I'm a dad, I notice these things. And I looked at her and I said to her mom, I said, you want to know what the best part of your baby is? Look at those chunky legs. And she's like, oh, I know. I love the chunky legs too. The chunky thighs, the chunky legs on a baby are the best one. My kids are, grown up enough now to where they don't have chunky legs. But that's babies are wonderful, man. Little pooping alarm clocks. So Brock won't be late once to training camp all year. That baby will be up before Brock every day.
Really like this guy, man. I mean, first of all, he says and does all the right things. Great teammate, solid guy, man of faith. He's got a cute little family. Mom and dad got a cute little story. He's got a brother who plays college football. Gets married, signs the contract, now has this beautiful little baby girl. I mean, just, really happy for the guy. And it is a Disney movie. All he needs to do is show up on Super Bowl Sunday and win that Lombardi trophy. And it's going to be, Damon, I don't even know. I think it might even be graduated beyond a Disney movie. If this guy goes and wins the Super Bowl, this could be a major motion picture. This is more than a Disney after school special at this point, right? I mean, my goodness, if he wins the Super Bowl, a lot of people don't think he's going to do it, but I'm one that does. I believe he'll get it done. SGA Sports Talk channel, Chardal in the house. He says, hi, Damon and Larry. I'm a big fan of both of your channels. Thank you, Chardal. And you make great content, and you two rock and roll, and I will always support you two.
Thank you. We feel it, man. We feel it. Whenever you're in there, you have the nicest things to say, and we thank you very much.
Fuji Simeon says, kissing on the forehead sounds like an SI guy.
That's a shot. That's a shot.
Fuji! Ernberg in the house. What's an early comp for Mikkel? Healthy Kinlaw? No. Kinlaw? No. This guy. I think the best comp for Mikkel is well, first of all, I think there's a very good chance that Mikkel is going to get bigger over time because he's just got that kind of a body. He's going to get bigger. But I would say he reminds me a lot of Trayvon Walker for Jacksonville. He's a big, heavy defensive end, but he's not wide this way. He's still pretty linear. Like if you looked at him like just straight on, he looks pretty narrow. But then if you get close to him, you realize he's actually pretty thick. He's not, 245. He's more like 275.
I just like it when players remind you of some of my best choices, Larry.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say Trayvon Walker, maybe the consensus is that Aiden Hutchinson's better, but good old Trent Baalke doesn't live with consensus.
Trayvon hasn't done very much. I hope he's better than Trayvon Walker. I'll say I said this to Bob Sargent.
I think he's very similar.
Long time radio guy. He's the Niners director of broadcasting. Larry and I know him really, really well. Bob's a guy we met in Vegas for cocktails the night before the Super Bowl. That's kind of, we know Bob really well. He's a friend. And I was just saying to Bob, I was like, Mikkel Williams has had the single freest ride any 49er first round pick has had since I've been covering this football team.
In what way?
Like nobody's talking about him. There is so much rookie responsibility to carry this team that you don't look at the first round pick and say, well, he's the rookie who's really got the responsibility to help carry this team in the right direction, because it's on the first round pick, the second round pick, the fourth round pick, the fifth round pick, the sixth round pick. I mean, there are so many rookies in which this season's responsibility will fall upon their shoulders at some point in time, that it just feels like Mikael Williams is nobody's talking about him. I mean, have you seen anybody say, oh man, I got to run out and make sure my kids got Mikael Williams jerseys underneath the Christmas tree this year? Yeah. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any, and this isn't positive or negative. There just doesn't seem to be any real hype attached to him. There doesn't seem to be a lot of negativity attached to him. But he's in an ether that very few 49er first round draft picks ever get to enjoy.
He's one of the highest drafted players on the whole roster. So that there's high expectations. I mean, at least there should be, because the Niners don't pick that high very often. But yeah, I think there's because it is kind of a collective defensive rebuild. I think there's it's a little bit more like, hey, he's part of the new group as opposed to he's the final piece to the puzzle that's going to save us. I also kind of think that the addition of Bryce Huff changes everything, because if he was going to be the guy opposite Nick Bosa, then it would be like his technique would be more of an issue, and all these other things would be a little bit more of an issue. Because you've got Huff there, and because Mikael looks so potentially dominant inside, I think he's going to have a better a smoother transition, because I think his speed advantage on the inside is immense. And when you take a linear defensive end and put him at defensive tackle, guards just have a hard time getting their hands on these guys. But usually they're too weak. This guy's strong. This guy's a stud, man. This guy's big and strong.
You put him 2 years into an NFL weight room, he's going to be a beast.
He's going to be good. We got this one. Fuji Simeon. Giants are currently losing trade deadline moves. Well, I don't, the Giants have to get real here. I mean, the bottom line is they didn't sell Madison Bumgarner. They didn't sell Gaussman. They didn't sell Rodon. They didn't sell any of the arms that they had that they could have sold. And if they had, they would have had, better compensation.
Right now.
Yeah, they'd be better right now. So now you've got Robbie Ray, and he's an injury-prone guy. Right. You've got a great situation because he signed for this year and next year, so he's not a rental. So, like, the Yankees badly need Robbie Ray, badly. And I brought this up on the radio today. The question that, a lot of Giants fans are debating, should the Giants buy, should they sell? Well, it's easy to be like, they should buy, don't sell, don't give up. A lot of people are like, don't give up, you're within 3 of the wild card. Yeah, but you were leading the wild card a week ago. There we go. A little single to left. It's now 6-5. 2 outs or 1 out in the ninth. Giants have a runner.
There you go. Jung-Hoo with that Texas League dinger.
Jung-Hoo with a single to left, and the Giants are 1 run shy. But they're on the verge of losing 10 of their last 13.
If you trade Robbie Ray, you're in a lot of trouble, because Hayden Birdsong's not about to be a number 2. Nobody else behind Birdsong.
Damon, you're in trouble anyway. You're in trouble anyway.
I would do it, but they won't. They don't have the balls to cash in on a year saying tomorrow will be better.
Sometimes the thing about it, though, is that Robbie Ray didn't pitch all of last year. He's had physical problems. He's in his 30s. Okay, you've got him right now. He's very healthy, and people will give you a huge king's ransom for him, most likely, at least a good prospect or two. All I'm saying is Robbie Ray, look at the money that starting pitchers are commanding in free agency. The question that Giants fans have to ask themselves is, would you pay Robbie Ray 5 years and $150 million? And if the answer is yes, then keep him. But if the answer is no, because you're fearful that he'll get hurt, you don't want to give him 5 years, 150, because that's what he's going to get.
Move on.
Then trade him. The Yankees would take him right now.
Did they really have to extend Melvin another year? Was that necessary? Freaking Sleepy Bob over there. I don't know, man.
I don't know either. I don't know if that was a good idea.
Look, Devers will be better than he's been. The back of his baseball card will eventually start telling the truth about him. That's what everyone hopes. The Giants won't trade Robbie Ray as much as Kyle Shanahan doesn't want to play Isaiah Nair. It's just, sometimes you got to look at the past to see what's going to happen in the future. And they won't do it. But they should. They should. And it should be Logan Webb, and good luck with that. Should you actually reach the postseason.
See, I don't that whole thing about Shanahan.
By the way, I would trade Camilo Duvall too.
Did Shanahan not play Dom Pooney last year? Thought he did.
Oh no, that's different. It's like not a wide receiver.
Single to left from Wilmer. Now you got first and second with one out. Now the Giants are a single away from tying the game 6-6.
Well, now they're clear buyers, Larry. That's
Fuji Simeon says, congrats to the Purdy's new baby girl. There you go. Anthony Catania, love the show, guys. Damon and Larry, hope you are well. The 49ers need to take pointers from other teams in the league on the fan experience during training camp. All I would say to that, Anthony, and I'm totally with you. If you went to the first day of training camp and, their Giants are pinch running for Flores, by the way.
Why? He's a speed demon.
Yeah. But I mean, the Giants or the Niners had the Niners have redone their fields because of the stadium and the renovations and all that. So they moved their fields around. So the very first day of camp, they had the fans on the back wall, and then they had the team way up on the side field going the other way. I mean, it was really bad. It was really bad.
You had to look through a football team that was 3 football fields away from where all the fans were sitting. Again, our buddy Bob Sargent, I walked up to Bob. I said, Bob, could you get those fans back a little bit more? There could be someone from Seattle filming something. Could you get them back a little bit more? And he's like, I know, man, it's a new field configuration.
I get it. And it's like, and and the Niners are like, hey, bear with us. And, we're got changes and, bear with us and this and that. Okay. But you know what? First of all, those tickets are hard as hell to get.
They really are.
Really hard to get. They sell them for $10 and $20. They sell on the secondary market for $400.
Stop.
No, go look for yourself.
Who's paying $400 to go to a training camp practice? You're out of your minds, people.
Some of the people in those stands.
Oh my God.
Yes. So think about what you just said to Sarge. Think about, factor in what you just said, and now, I don't know, $800 for the pair. Imagine, Damon, you saw where the fans were and you saw where the practice was. Imagine if you had dropped $1,200 on three tickets.
Oh my God. I'd want to go home with Purdy's new baby for that price. I would be like, I need to leave here with a significant souvenir at that price point. Are you kidding me?
Seriously, the fans should have been allowed to call a preseason play or something. I mean, for that, that was unbelievable.
Okay, so hold on. So now it's runners on first and second, and Mike Yastrzemski, who we were just bagging on, is at the plate here, Larry. So watch Yastrzemski come through to make us look bad.
Fat Thor says, "Hey, $9.99. Thank you,
Fat Thor. Thank you."
Matthew Waring says, "You see Purdy's." Oh, look at that! He swings at a ball in the dirt. Yastrzemski is garbage. Matthew Waring, you see any more Purdy fluff balls coming this season? Last year, so many underthrown deep balls and out routes. You think just the elbow? I'll say this. He definitely has a little bit more zip on his passes this year.
Remember, the Brock Purdy that you complained about last year with everything going on wrong around him led the 49ers to the second most explosive plays in the NFL offensively. So I'm just tired of hearing about what Brock's arm can't do.
Yaz is sitting 1-2, a strikeout. A strikeout here is death.
It's just battle.
It's a one-out situation, men on first and second. If he gets a hit, if he even flies out and moves the runner to third where a wild pitch or a pass ball scores him, but if he strikes out and no runners move, that would be Yaz.
I'll tell you right now. There's clearly an agreement that everyone's going to be growing like a filthy little porn stash on this team right now because there's a few of them. Chapman's got one. Yaz has got one right now. Yeah, just battling, Larry.
Dude, how about this for a Giants stat that Baggerly had today? The Giants have attempted in the month of July 2 stolen bases all month.
I mean,
you talked about Melvin. That's your Melvin right there.
Outside of Jung Hoo Lee, who do you want taking bags?
Yaz doing absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Popped it up.
Popped up to shortstop. D DFA. My God, DFA.
Do you see what the Giants just did with runners in scoring position over the Mets series? Like 0 for San Francisco.
Hold on a second. I'm DFAing Yaz on Twitter.
Oh, good. Now here comes Patrick Bailey. So if he's got another inside the park home run on him, this would be the time to show it to us. All right, we got to go through these super chats, Larry. I told Jillian that we got to talk to her before. Yeah, 0 for 23 with runners in scoring position. 0 for 23 with runners in scoring position.
That was this weekend.
But Pat Burrell's got to. But Pat Burrell can't go anywhere. Pat Burrell, important part of the process.
Pat Burrell, who was hitting 203 when the Giants acquired him, and he's now the hitting coach. I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Bailey can't hit either. All right, here we go. Fuji, Simi, and Larry, do they serve media food at training camp?
Humble sandwiches.
They have lunch in the media room. Yes, they do. Fuji Simeon, baseball topic. If Ichiro came over to the MLB earlier, would he have come close to or past Pete Rose's hit record? Yes.
I think so. By the way, Mario wants to know, did you have a good time at the game, Damon, versus the Mets? Here's the thing. The
Giant ball 4-3. Thanks for coming. Bailey 6-5 Pirates.
Everybody. I paid way too much money for every beer I drank. I paid way too much money for every hot dog I ate. Jillian paid way too much money for every drink she had. The Giants sucked. They scored 1 run. It was a great night. That park
Friday night.
It was a fun Friday night at the park. Jillian and I had
beautiful weather. It was an amazing warm night.
We had Gotham Club passes. We went and saw Glenn and Dwayne Kuiper's little post-game show that they did, and Kruko came out, and it was great to talk to them for a little bit. The Giants can suck. There's still not a bad day to go to that ballpark. If you can afford it, it's a great place to go. I can't afford it like I used to, that's for sure. But even though it was a rough night, I still did have a good time at the ballpark. I did.
Chardal, top 10 sports mascots of all time.
Crazy Crab, Rusty.
Well, number 1, San Diego Chicken.
San Diego Chicken.
Philly Fanatic, number 2.
Morgana in the tight sweater. She count?
The Kissing Bandit does not count. There was a woman with gigantic jugs in the 70s who used to run on the field.
And
it was celebrated. We celebrated it.
There was a famous version where she goes out and she charges Nolan Ryan. And Nolan got a nice little handful on the way out, too.
Little side boob.
Oh, he was on it, man.
There was a lot of side boob for Morgana. Top 10 sports mascots of all time. Yeah, I would say San Diego Chicken, Philly Fanatic, Mr. Met, Mike Yastrzemski, and Brandon Pajemski. There you go. Those are my mascots.
Never been a big mascot guy. Not a big mascot guy at all.
Crazy crap.
Indiana actually brought a mascot back, the Bison. We've, famously been mascotless for years, but they, got to sell merch. So,
by the way, the Maple Missile was on the field today, and he's a huge guy. I mean, he is huge. Curtis Rourke.
There you go.
Damon, seriously, you might look up in a year from now, and you might have Curtis Rourke as a legit NFL quarterback and CJ West as the anchor of the Niners defense.
Let's do it, baby.
Danny Golding TV, here's a super for both your channels.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you very much.
And Danny, here's another one. He said, here's a super for both your channels.
He sprinkled it. Like and subscribe to both these channels. Larry, can we end with this? Do we have more?
We got a couple more. Fat Thor says, I will kiss the both of you on the forehead anytime, any place, with all due respect.
Thank you. I mean, right back at you, Fat Thor.
This forehead does not need to be kissed right now. It's sunburned. Fuji Simeon said, Purdy's new competitive competition with his teammates, my baby's cuter than your baby, LOL, will cause a fallout with CMC and divide the locker room. That'd be awesome.
That's the only level of scandal that I'll ever be attached to either of those guys.
My baby's cuter than your baby.
Baby Fight Club.
Oh my God. That's it. We're going out in the hall. All right, that's going to do it for us. Hey, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. Thanks to Clawdaddy Arcades. Once again, if you want the Patrick Willis jersey, follow me on YouTube and follow Clawdaddy Arcades on Instagram, and you're automatically entered. We'll give that away in the next few days. I'm back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on KMBR with John Dickinson. I'll be back in training camp tomorrow for more 49er stuff tomorrow. And yeah, there we go. And then Wednesday night, I'll be back for Niners Nightly at 6 p.m. Matt Barrows is going to stop by Wednesday night. And then Thursday night, Mike Sando is going to stop by on Thursday night. So really fired up for those two guys. And
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. And then Friday, check me out. I'll be on the sitting in for Murph on the KMBR Morning Show with Marcus Boucher, and we'll also broadcast from training camp. So busy week in the for the channel. We're streaming at night, and we're working in the day.
This is the show that everyone wants right here, though. At least MSQ N2I says, when's the next live with the great Krug and Damon Bruce going to be? When is that going to be? Are we going to be able to do this on Friday? Maybe Wednesday. Maybe we might have to go like a Wednesday night or Friday night, Larry. With like you said, you're on assignment, like Dave.
Well, so we have an opening that we could potentially do a dual deal with Sammy Batesh Wednesday morning. We could do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll have to wait until next week, because Friday I'll be in Santa Clara. Friday I'll be in Santa Clara for practice. Practice starts right when the show would be going on.
Right.
So I'm doing the KMBR morning show till 10. So Friday we'll not be doing Friday. And sorry to the people who are getting regular with us and have been there every Monday, every Friday. I just want to apologize. I'm the one that has caused this schedule. And then of course the scheduling changes. We also both vacation. Damon went to Yosemite. I went to Connecticut.
It's the Niners moved up practice. I mean, the practice used to start around like 12:30 in the afternoon. Now it's at 10:30 in the morning. So it's gotten into our schedule a little bit, but all I can tell you is thank you for wanting more. Thank you for wanting us. We will be giving it to you, and we can assure you when these games happen, we will be live the day after every game. Come hell or high water, we will be there live together after every game. You're going to have to tell KNBR, I got a bigger show to host with Damon than you got a morning show. So
we got, I mean, of course we got the post game show, and we got lots to get to. So we'll be doing lots of content this year. So everybody check it out. But that's going to do it for us. Thanks to Damon.
Wait.
Go ahead.
I want to say congratulations on 60,000 subs. You crossed the threshold just the other day, man. I'm very happy for you. Very proud of you. I watched you do the whole thing, learned quite a bit about the whole thing through you as well, man. So very happy. Congratulations to you and Kev, your secret weapon.
Yeah. I mean, Kev really is the secret weapon. He's fantastic. By the way, for some of you who could be watching tonight's stream and have watched me over the last couple of weeks and said, hey man, your computer, it's glitching and this and that. We've been doing a full autopsy of every possible different thing. And we're at a point where it's time for us to get a new computer.
MacBook Pro, baby.
New computer. So I apologize for the lagging. We will be dealing with it in the next, let's say 48 to 72 hours. If you could put up with it for a couple more days, I appreciate everybody though. And we're at 60,270 subs. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. I was really afraid when I jumped into this YouTube thing about, would it translate? Would I like it? How would I do it? Would it be fun? And it's been the best move I've ever made. And I really enjoy it, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. And we're putting out great content. I'm really, really, really proud of all the people like Damon and Tommy T and Murph and Tony and John Lund and so many of our radio friends who have been kicked out of radio far before their usefulness is elapsed. Yeah. And they're finding a home on YouTube, and they're putting out great content, and you can see everybody's having fun along the way. And so all I would say to those guys is, keep grinding, man. Keep grinding, because it is a grind, but it's a lot of fun. And we've got brand new sponsors coming on this week that we'll tell you about later on this week. But really excited to announce some new partnerships. Really excited to work with my son and it's just been great. So thanks to everybody that has made 60,270 subs possible in 3 years, and we're very proud of doing it and enjoying it. And man, I'm loving doing stuff on the radio. It's fantastic, but having the YouTube channel and being able to work with this project with my son and seeing him learn about it and it's been fun. So anyway, thanks to all of you guys, and that's going to do it for us. We just double check to make sure we've got all the supers.
Wrap it up, Larry.
All right. That's going to do it for us. For Damon, I'm Larry. Have a great night, everybody. Peace.